Schedule-wise, because you do play 13 weeks in a row, does that factor, like in this week's schedule, is that always just kind of looming back there, or is that just so far distant that?
Yeah, I think you always want to keep big picture in mind, but certainly we have a feel for the moment. I think you always got to have a feel for where your team is, especially health-wise in terms of how you go about your weekly routine. And so we're very conscious of what we have in front of us and where we're at right now.
But you're coming off of this overtime game, it probably got pretty hot on that AstroTurf Sunday. And your players always compliment your veterans about how they rest first and then get ready for the next game. How vital has that information from GPS come from you on the athletes when you're figuring that out and putting your week together?
Yeah, we factor in everything, and we're never afraid to tweak the schedule. Certainly, we have to have something planned prior to the week, but I try to listen to Giz and Flea as much as possible and what they're telling us and the guys. And so, if need be, we'll tweak the schedule. But it's been I feel like the last couple of weeks has been pretty consistent in what we've done.
Were Elton and Josh able to get enough work done, and where are they at now?
Yeah, they're coming along. Again, we'll see. We'll give them throughout the week, but it was nice to have them out at practice yesterday.
With Kevin, is that just more of a pain management thing for him this week, or because of the shoulder, he's got the history with the shoulder, are you maybe a little more cautious there?
Well, I don't want to. When you say pain management, I never want to question a guy's toughness, because he's as tough as they come. You can see that when he throws his face in there. I mean, he was hitting people on Sunday. So there is definitely, you factor everything into it. I mean, certainly the whole pain tolerance deal when you're dealing with any injury comes into play, but it's the function, it's the ability to be able to use it. And you could see after he did hurt his shoulder, he just was unable to use his arm out there. And certainly we don't want to put a player out there in a position where they can't function at, I don't think anybody's at 100% during the season, but, they just can't function at a high level.
You've had pretty remarkable health standards and fortune through your first two seasons, really up until maybe week 17 last year. How different has this season been for you, and has it caused you to change your approach at all with all the injuries you're dealing with?
No, yeah, there's definitely been a little bit more adversity in that front. I do think there's some benefit to that in terms of just being able to play multiple people and get them reps. There's no substitute for live game reps, and so you start to develop some other guys. I think you really get an opportunity to develop your depth, and so that's been good, especially when you've been able to win games. And so, certainly we never want to be without anybody, but if you are, it's always great to go into those games and again, develop people and come out with a win, because that's ultimately all we want.
And are you close to kind of incorporating Jalen Smith into some packages on defense?
We're working hard towards that, but that's kind of a wait and see type deal. We'll see where he's at the end of the week and whether or not he's ready to go.
Are there any challenges in going up against a rookie quarterback who's maybe still trying to find his identities on that Bears offense?
I think there's challenges each and every week, no matter who you're facing. I think this guy in Justin Fields he's got great arm talent, and then he also has the ability to escape and extend plays and make plays with his legs, which just adds another layer to the defense in terms of the off-schedule play is really tough to scheme for. So our guys are going to have to do a great job, especially in coverage, plastering, what we call plastering the receivers when plays do go off schedule.
In regard to the cornerback situation, what have you seen from some of the guys farther down the depth chart, whether it be Isaac or John Charles, those guys on the practice field?
Yeah, I think those guys are coming along well. We added a couple of veterans with Rasul Douglas, Quentin Dunbar. So we feel good about the other guys that are here and just the veterans that we have, in case of emergency.
In that vein, Matt, what have you thought of the job that Jerry Gray's done? Not only getting guys ready to play, but also getting some of these new guys caught up to speed.
Yeah, Jerry's been great since day one, since coming here from Minnesota, and just does a great job of preparing that room. I think we've done a really good job of, for the most part, eliminating the big plays, which is always an important part of it. Just his communication, I think he's got a great perspective, having played the game. He's been coaching a really long time, and no, he's been a great benefit to this organization, this football team. I think also, Ryan Downard's done an outstanding job as well. So I think, we're fortunate to have those guys. The other guy in that room is Justin Hood, who's new this year, but he does a fantastic job as well.
Hey man, I know you gave Bill a hard time yesterday about your stats or for losers comment, but I do know that your coaches all get the game books on the end of the game, and I'm sure they look at it on the plane. Was that more of just that you can't get bogged down in that kind of stuff, and the end result is what really matters?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of layers to that question in terms of, I think number one, it's kind of a mentality that we have, it's just whatever it takes to win games. That's ultimately the one stat that matters, right? But there's certain things that also matter. I mean, the turnover battle, we talk about that each and every week, how important that is in terms of, it's a great indicator for wins and losses. But we are more interested in the why. We use analytics, we use stats in everything we do, but that's only the information. You got to take a deep dive into why things work or why they don't work. Are we putting our guys in a position to potentially have success? Is it lack of execution? Do we need to give them more reps? Is it bad play design where they have no chance and you want to get rid of plays? So yeah, we use every information that we can get our hands on, but ultimately you got to look at the tape and try to figure out the whys behind whether you're successful or unsuccessful.
What's the challenge when they put Mack and Quinn together on the same side?
Well, it doesn't matter where they are. It's always a challenge. They've got so many pieces. It's not just those two guys. I mean, then you got Hicks, Goldman, Nichols. I can go on and on and on with just the depth that they have. It doesn't matter who's in there. I think they do a great job of just putting their guys in position to try to create one-on-ones. And they play so damn hard as well. And I think I said it yesterday or whatever, anytime you mix great players with great scheme that give great effort, it is a recipe for a really good defense, and that's what they have there.
All right, let's go to Zoom. Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, we have two. Start with Aaron Egler.
Coach, on a handful of occasions last year, we heard you unprompted talk about what you were looking for on the defensive side of the ball in regards to 11 guys flying to the football. Have you gotten that this year so far? And how do you think Joe and his guys are doing in that regard?
Yeah, I think it's gotten better each and every week. The more comfortable the guys are with the calls, just the more comfortable they are playing together, communicating with one another, the faster you can go out and recognize keys or whatever it is, and you can fly to the football. So that's something that we continue to stress each and every day. And if you're tired, get the next guy in, because we need guys flying around. We need all 11 just, playing with their hair on fire.
And last one, Jason Wilde.
Hey Matt, sorry to have to do this via Zoom. I'm wondering, you always say it starts with me, right? And you seem to mean that. And I thought it was really interesting yesterday. Devontae told us that after the game on Sunday, you came to him looking for his input on what you guys can do differently in the red zone to get going to the level that you expect. I'm wondering, why or when did that become your MO, to go to guys like that? And what kind of information do you glean when you do that?
Yeah, I think it's just, there's a lot of guys on our roster that you have a lot of respect for, that have played the game at a high level for a long time. And so if they might have a nugget for you that you can take back, and you can look at the film and see what things that we could potentially do better. I think the rapport that we have with our guys that we've been with now going on year 3 certainly you take a lot of value in what they have to tell you. And so whatever it takes to help us improve in that area, I think we're willing to listen to. And it's not just our players, but certainly all our assistant coaches as well.